From the air, it looks a bit like a laser in the night. But on the ground, wildfires on New York's Long Island are raging out of control, hitting some of the most exclusive communities just outside New York City. And good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
And I'm Joan Lennon.
A human rights activist returns home and an international incident is diffused. Harry Wu arrives in the U.S. on a one-way ticket from China. ABC's Bill Ritter covered the California homecoming.
It was a tired but grateful Harry Wu who returned from China a free man.
I'm very proud as an American. If I'm not American, I don't think I can come out.
His summer-long detention by Chinese authorities on charges of espionage had become a flashpoint for sagging Sino-American relations, just as his crusade against Chinese forced labor camps has become a rallying point for human rights activists.
I think they can only destroy a man, but I don't think they can defeat me.
Throughout the day, Wu's supporters waited for him at the airport. And just before Wu landed, his wife, Ching Li, acknowledged that her husband's release likely will pave the way for First Lady Hillary Clinton to attend next month's International Women's Conference in Beijing. But she said his expulsion from China shouldn't take the focus off human rights.
I don't object her going to Beijing, but I still have to emphasize that the human rights record in China is so terrible.
As for Harry Wu, he says he just wants to rest, at least for now.
My back is really very bad, and even in the court, I cannot stand. And I will take some medicine and take a break. Thank you.
We are likely to hear a lot more from Harry Wu in the next few weeks. According to one person who knows him, he has the world's attention now, and that's something he's been waiting for 30 years. Bill Ritter, ABC News, San Francisco.
Harry Wu arrived home last night, arrived in California after Chinese authorities told him what he'd been waiting to hear. You're free. The human rights activist was expelled after being convicted of spying. ABC's Ann Compton on how Wu's trip home may affect Hillary Clinton's travel plans.
Harry Wu's arrival back in the U.S. was the green light that Hillary Clinton needed most to complete plans for her China trip. A White House statement welcomed his release as an action that removes an obstacle to improving relations with China. Other obstacles, including what the U.S. considers illegal nuclear testing by China, could be smoothed over this weekend as a top State Department official visits Beijing. All along, Hillary Clinton has been anxious to lead American women at the UN conference, which has become an all-star affair.
I would love to be there with her. On a personal level, I would be completely thrilled just to be hanging out with her.
Actress Sally Field is one of an untold number of women delegates who still don't have visas to enter China. Bureaucratic tangles and the potential for pro-democracy protests have made preparations a nightmare. The First Lady has been preparing since last spring when her tour of South Asia introduced her to women with no influence, little money, but tremendous fear. At the time, Mrs. Clinton suggested the UN conference should come up with a simple, one-page statement recognizing universal women's rights. Now Mrs. Clinton has begun to look for ways to apply here at home any of the conference recommendations on such issues as health care or violence against women. She still worries that the substance of the Beijing conference could become lost in the political clamor. Ann Compton, ABC News, Washington.